All right, let's dive into something that really touches on those quiet moments, doesn't it? Those internal battles nobody else sees.
Hmm.
We're talking about self-discipline today, but maybe not in the way you usually think about it, not as some cold, rigid set of rules.
Right, more like a personal journey.
Yeah.
A transformation, really. A path you kind of choose one step at a time.
Exactly. And we're drawing insights from these really compelling excerpts simply titled Self-Discipline.
Yeah, and they're not like academic papers or anything. It's a story, one person's experience, which gives us this intimate sort of roadmap, through the inner workings of change.
And the person we'll be following, her name's Maya. She's a young university student, and her life feels pretty ordinary.
No special advantages, no clear vision board pointing to the future, just life.
But within that ordinary life, she's right on the cusp, isn't she?
Yeah.
Of discovering this incredibly powerful force.
That's the idea. So our mission in this deep dive, it's really to walk alongside Maya through this material, pull out the most important bits, those nuggets of knowledge from her experiences, and really try to understand what this forced self-discipline truly is.
How it shapes a life.
Yeah.
And maybe find some surprising facts, some shifts in perspective along the way.
Yeah, things that you might find useful, things you could potentially apply to your own path.
Okay, so where does it all begin for Maya? The source material lays it out pretty clearly. It starts where a lot of these journeys stumble.
The alarm clock.
Battle against the alarm clock, yeah.
The infamous alarm clock war. It's what, 5.45 or 6000 a.m., that quiet, dark time.
Oh.
The alarm goes off and every single part of you just wants to burrow back into the warmth. Right?
It's so relatable. And for Maya, it's not like she has some crucial meeting. She's just decided, again, that this time she's going to wake up early, go for a run, read, eat better, all that stuff.
But there she is, caught in that classic conflict.
Oh.
The massive pull of comfort versus that quieter voice pushing for progress.
That little whisper.
Yeah. And what's fascinating, what this story highlights right from the start, is that the first victory in self-discipline isn't, conquering some huge challenge.
Nope.
It's conquering the moment. The win isn't running 5 miles. It's just sitting up.
Just sitting up. That's it. The
Yeah.
first win of the day. The source really hammers home how incredibly hard these small battles actually are.
It takes real strength, doesn't it, to fight your own habits, the comfortable ones.
Absolutely. Just a few months before, Maya was, as the text puts it, the queen of comfort.
Right. Binge watching shows, endless social media scrolling,
Hours gone.
late night junk food, and always that promise of, I'll start tomorrow.
We've all been there.
Mm-hmm. But the material points to this quiet turning point for her. No big drama.
No lightning bolt.
Just standing in front of the mirror one evening, feeling completely fed up with lying to herself.
Yeah.
It wasn't hate for her life, just this feeling of being less than she knew she could be, and the realization hits, I can do more. But man, it's going to take work.
And crucially, the source describes this change not like a sudden storm, but more like a dripping faucet.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. One hard decision, then another, layered on top. Waking early, then actually running, then reading something worthwhile. Choosing the salad over the pizza.
Putting the phone away. Writing down goals, actually keeping those tiny promises she made to herself.
It's a process, isn't it? Built on these consistent, deliberate choices, even when everything inside is screaming no.
And the story is honest about it. She failed. A lot.
Oh, yeah?
She hit snooze, skipped workouts, gave in to the cravings. But the key difference this time, the real nugget here, she kept coming back.
That's it.
A stumble didn't mean the journey was over. She just got back up.
And that's the definition of self-discipline emerging right there in the narrative.
Consistency.
Showing up when you absolutely, positively do not feel like it.
Doing the right thing. Not when it's easy or when people are cheering you on, but when nobody's watching.
Mm-hmm. Building strength in silence. And you see this so clearly in that scene running past the bakery. Oh, that scene. It's so vivid.
Isn't it? The smell of fresh croissants, that warm air, stomach rumbling, legs burning from the run.
And that voice inside just screaming, "You earned this. Reward yourself."
It's Temptation Island right there. Immediate gratification calling her name.
But what does she do? Her counteraction. Just smiles, whispers to herself, "Not yet," and runs straight home.
And the meaning packed into that tiny moment is huge. The breakfast she makes minutes later, it wasn't just food, it was proof.
Proof she was breaking free. Proof change was actually happening, one hard choice at a time.
Proof she was building character over craving, substance over just comfort.
The power of that win. It was totally quiet, no applause, no high fives.
Definitely no Instagram post about it.
No, it was all internal. The nugget is so clear. Winning that little alarm clock war, resisting that small temptation, it builds the muscle, right? It meant she could win it again tomorrow.
Exactly. She was moving towards the person she wanted to be, not through luck or talent, but just by mastering herself, little by little.
So she's got this new routine going, finding a rhythm. Maybe 2 weeks in, things are feeling pretty good, in control.
But then the source material throws in a curveball.
Uh-huh.
Success brings its own kind of danger.
Yes. Not always the obvious pitfalls either. The danger here, temptation.
Right. And notice how temptation shows up in this story. It's not some villain twirling a mustache.
No, it's wearing a very friendly face, her best friend, Carla.
Yeah. Inviting her to Friday movie night. And this isn't objectively bad. It represents comfort.
Popcorn, soda, pizza, ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
The old routine, the easy path, and just missing her friend.
And you can feel Maya's conflict. Her thumb hovering over the reply button. She misses that ease, that spontaneity. But then she glances over wet running shoes, her notebook with the plan. Review goals, light dinner, sleep early. The internal battle reignites.
The voices get loud, don't they? It's just one night. You've been so good. You deserve a break.
Totally. But there's that quiet knowing, too. That's exactly what she always told herself before sliding back. She's just standing there, the world buzzing outside, but inside, it's the silent moment of decision.
And the tough choice.
Yeah.
The disciplined one.
Typing out, next Friday, I promise, tonight I need to stay on track, and hitting send. And the source doesn't sugarcoat the immediate result, a wave of sadness. It really highlights the loneliness that can sometimes come with self-discipline.
That's a huge nugget of truth right there.
Yeah.
Self-discipline isn't just saying yes to the future you want. Often it means saying a really hard no right now.
To things, even people you love. At least in that moment, it hurts, feels like missing out.
But as the source says, it's temporary, like a growing pain.
Right. And the morning after, different story. Wakes up without the alarm, body feels more aligned, mind's clearer. The sadness, it's weaker.
And then Carla's reply later. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm proud of you also. I fell asleep. Your boring life is rubbing off on me.
That exchange shows another layer, doesn't it? Temptation isn't just external stuff like pizza. It's internal, too.
Old routines, comfort zones, the part of you that wants to stay the same.
And sometimes your quiet choices, even if they feel boring to you, can actually ripple outwards in unexpected ways.
Exactly. So the story then throws another classic test at her. Procrastination.
The old enemy.
Huge assignment, due in 48 hours. She has a plan. She's ready to start. But the phone buzzes.
Just one peek.
Funny memes, endless videos, and bam, an hour gone. just like that.
She catches herself staring at the screen. That feeling, chest tightens. She recognizes it. The silent thief.
Yeah, this isn't just killing time. It's stealing from her future, just like the old habits did.
So what does she do? The action she takes is simple, but it's powerful because it's so decisive.
Closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, puts the phone on airplane mode.
Throws it across the room onto the bed.
And opens a blank document. No drama, just a firm boundary drawn.
And the result. She finishes half the assignment that afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
The feeling wasn't, like, ecstatic.
No, just good. That quiet, deep satisfaction you get from doing the hard thing you know you needed to do.
And this ties right into that quote the source uses. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most.
Absolutely. And what Maya wanted most wasn't the quick dopamine hit from scrolling. It was freedom.
Freedom from bad habits, from regret, from chaos.
Freedom from feeling out of control of her time and energy. And the source is clear, that freedom costs something. Sacrifice.
Day by day, choice by choice, she was paying that price, building that inner strength.
Yeah.
And, yeah, temptation still knocked.
But she wasn't opening the door blindly anymore. She could hear it, acknowledge it, maybe even smile and just walk away.
Because she was starting to see self-discipline not as punishment, but as the only real path to becoming who she truly wanted to be.
So, okay, she's built routines, she's navigated temptation, made some tough calls. Externally, waking early, eating well, studying. She seems like she's nailing it.
Right. But then the narrative throws in a different kind of challenge. The source calls it the first mirror moment. She's exhausted, but it's not physical exhaustion. It's hollowness inside.
This is really interesting. Nearly a month in, routine's solid, choices are healthy, grades are even improving.
Seems great on paper.
Totally. Yet she's sitting in the library with her perfect planner goals, deadlines, habit trackers, and this huge question just lands on her. Why am I doing all this?
Oof. She'd been so focused on the how to execute the plan, how to stick to the schedule.
That she'd lost touch with the why, the original motivation. It felt faint, dim.
And when she looks in the mirror that night, she sees it reflected back. Tired eyes, doubt, feeling like a ghost.
Disciplined, yeah, but empty, and that little whisper starts up again, but this time it's doubt. What if none of this is enough?
It's a critical point the source uncovers. All her efforts were internal, quiet. No external applause, no validation.
Right, so the doubt feels louder in that silence.
Her journal entry from that time really captures it. What if I'm just fooling myself? Building routines without passion. I'm so tired of pretending. Maybe I'm not as strong as I thought. It's raw.
But then this unexpected memory bubbles up. Falling off her bike as a kid.
Scraped knees, wanting to quit.
But her parents encouraging her and getting back on the next day. She rode through the fear back then.
And that memory sparks a new understanding, doesn't it? The nugget here is huge. Self-discipline isn't about feeling perfect or fearless or even motivated all the time.
No, it's about having that inner strength, the strength you've built through all those small, consistent choices to keep going through the discomfort, through the pain, the doubt.
Showing up even when your heart feels heavy, even when the initial why feels miles away.
The mirror showed the surface fatigue, doubt. But her actions, the daily grind, the getting back up that showed the deeper truth, persistence, growth, courage.
This moment leads to a new rule for Maya, highlighted in the text. Honesty. Stop trying to look strong.
For others, or even for herself in the mirror.
Yeah. Start being real. When it's hard, admit it's hard. When motivation vanishes, see it not as failure, but as a signal.
A signal to rest, maybe reflect, reconnect with the purpose, not beat herself up.
She starts seeing self-discipline less like a rigid flagpole and more like a wave.
Sometimes high on motivation, sometimes low with doubt. But the key thing is, the wave is always moving forward if she stays with it. If she keeps paddling, keeps showing up.
And her journal entry after this shift really shows that change. Today, I didn't feel strong at all, but I kept going. That has to count for something.
Notice the shift there. I'm not chasing perfection anymore. I'm building resilience. And maybe that's enough for now. Finding peace and just keeping going.
It's the point where she really starts learning to listen to herself, forgive herself, trust the messy process is about becoming herself.
Oh.
Fully, honestly. That deeper foundation is setting.
But life happens outside our internal reflections. Sometimes an external blow comes along and tests that foundation hard. For Maya, this happened on a Thursday.
Waking up late, first time in 6 weeks.
The whole morning routine. Gone. Rushing, late for class. And then that quiet, almost understated request from the professor. Please see me after class.
Your stomach just drops reading that.
Totally. The blow comes quickly. The paper, red marks everywhere. 58%. See me for feedback.
Just shock. Like it's someone else's grade. Completely disconnected from all the effort.
And the professor's reaction? The source says it hit harder than anger would have. I'm disappointed. This isn't your best work. Honest. Not mean, but it cuts deep because it feels true.
And then the collapse. Just tears falling in the courtyard, feeling like a total failure after all the sacrifices, all the effort.
The urge to just quit everything feels overwhelming. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this.
The source describes this powerful moment with her phone journal. She types it all out. I want to quit. Maybe I'm not meant for this. That raw feeling.
And then she deletes it.
Yeah. Not because it wasn't true in that moment, but because it wasn't the whole truth. It didn't capture the small wins, the strength she had built.
The pain was real, it needed to be acknowledged, but it didn't erase the journey so far.
She needs space, finds herself in the quiet art building, just sits on the floor, breathes, lets the emotional storm kind of settle.
And in that quiet, a mentor's quote comes back to her. You will hit walls, real walls, not in your path, but inside yourself. Self-discipline means learning how to climb them, break them, or rest beside them without giving up. This was her wall, right here.
So that choice presents itself again, starkly. Walk away, or figure out how to get through.
She looks at the professor's feedback again, sees the comments are specific, constructive, they show where she went wrong.
The failure isn't just proof she's bad. It's a gift, as the text says, a hard lesson she needed.
And she reaches out, calls her mom for the first time really talking about this whole internal struggle.
And her mom's words are just perfect. You don't have to be perfect to be proud. Strength isn't how straight you walk the path. It's that you keep walking even when you limp.
Wow, that lands powerfully.
Doesn't it? And that night, a different kind of discipline emerges. Not running, not studying, not making lists.
Just sitting with herself. The quiet, difficult discipline to just rest, feel the pain without trying to numb it, and give herself permission to start again tomorrow.
This moment reveals such a key insight. Self-discipline isn't a smooth, perfect climb. It's bumpy, it's rocky, and yeah, sometimes it breaks you a little.
But the discipline is in the keeping going. It's in those breaking moments you find out who you really are underneath the performance layer.
She hadn't failed as a person. She'd felt the pain of failing at a task. And that feeling, acknowledged and raw, could actually become fuel. Fuel to choose to rise again tomorrow. Bruised, maybe, but not broken.
Which brings us nicely to the rise within. The morning after hitting that wall, she's at the mirror again.
Puffy eyes, body feels heavy. But she's standing there, not with that usual bright energy, but with this quiet determination not to give up.
It's a different way of showing up that day. Not trying to perfectly execute the routine.
No, just getting to class on time, offering a small smile to the professor, sitting down with an open mind, ready to listen, not just defend.
She starts rebuilding, but gently, with care, not brute force. Taking breaks when needed, asking questions instead of faking it, spending time reflecting on becoming, not just obsessing over the failure.
The focus shifts, doesn't it? From external perfection to internal presence.
Absolutely fundamental shift. She stops trying to project strong and starts actually working on the strength inside, staying calmer, focusing on the feedback points, not just the grade, asking for help.
And that simple act, asking for help, being open, leads to a surprise connection. Another student, Aisha, approaches her, says she saw Maya as really focused and disciplined.
And Maya's response is so authentic. She doesn't puff herself up. She just says she tries to keep going, especially when she doesn't feel like it, and admits you're definitely not alone in finding it hard. Then offers to study together.
And that vulnerability opens a door, right? More students connect. Not because she's perfect, but because she's real, honest, supportive.
Her struggle becomes a bridge. She shows them failure as part of the path. It's this quiet, humble leadership emerging, not from being the best, but from being grounded in her own experience.
Her habits come back, but they feel different, transformed.
The runs are slower, more peaceful. Journaling is deeper, more real. Reading is about understanding, not just quantity. Facing the tough feelings instead of burying them.
A new kind of strength grows. Not the never cry kind, but the kind that lets you cry and still show up. Feel the pain and still move forward.
Her grades improve, sure, but the real confidence boost is in who she's becoming, her character, not just her accomplishments.
She even finds her voice more. Speaks up in class, challenges an idea respectfully. The professor reacts positively. She feels like she belongs, not like an imposter.
The power she finds came directly from weathering that internal storm. It wasn't forced blooming. It was cultivating the inner soil so growth could happen naturally, quietly, steadily, one choice at a time.
That whisper, "I'm not done yet," became her quiet power. She really rose from within.
And this quiet internal shift leads to another key moment, the second mirror moment. Real growth, as the source says, isn't always loud. It's like a seed underground. You only notice later.
But the difference is there. In her voice, her pace, her presence, the steadiness in her eyes.
It's the end of the semester. She's back in the library, submitting the final essay for that same class where she'd failed the paper.
But this time, no fear about the grade. Not because she's sure she aced it, but because she knows she gave it everything. Her time, her truth, her heart.
Walking out, she catches her reflection in the glass doors, pauses, sees herself standing tall, calm, eyes steady. Not perfect, not polished, but just profoundly present, alive.
And bam, the realization hits. Her old idea of self-discipline, restriction, cold control, forcing herself. But the woman in the glass, she looks liberated.
That's the revolutionary nugget for her. Self-discipline wasn't about denying who she was. It was the conscious choice to honor and build who she could become. Not force, but intentional cultivation.
Every single act, getting up after failing, choosing reflection, overreaction, listening to her own needs, it wasn't just habit building. It was building something deeper.
Trust. Trust in herself. Not because she'll never fall, but because she knows now she can get back up.
When the grade comes back 92%, with a note, excellent progress. Mature thought, keep going.
She smiles. Not just at the number, she agrees with the feedback on a life level.
Remembering feeling broken, so close to quitting, and now standing here, stronger, wiser, more grounded. She takes a walk by the river, just for herself. No agenda.
Thinks about everyone who asked, "How are you so disciplined?" She wishes she could tell them the whole messy story.
Yeah. It wasn't easy, full of doubt, failure, tears, almost giving up. But those moments, that was the middle, and the story grows in the middle.
Her final journal entry for this semester just nails it. Self-discipline is not the absence of weakness. It's the decision to return to strength again and again, no matter how far you've fallen.
The mirror doesn't lie. I'm not who I was. I'm becoming who I am. And that smile she gives her reflection, it's not for anyone else. It's for her. Her second mirror moment, seeing the resilient person who was there all along.
And this internal transformation, this quiet strength, it inevitably starts to ripple outwards. The voice of impact.
She never planned to be a speaker, had no big flashy wins to talk about, but her professor does something unexpected, nominates her for the Student Growth Forum.
Her first reaction is laughter, disbelief. Must be a mistake. What could she say?
But the professor's reason is key. He saw more genuine growth in her than anyone else that semester. His advice, just be real. That's what people need.
But she says yes. Stands at the podium, heart pounding, voice shaky at first. But she looks out, sees relatable faces.
Her message isn't some polished how-to. She starts by admitting her old, wrong idea of discipline, being hard on herself, pushing, forcing.
And then shares the big lesson. Discipline isn't about force, it's about faith. Faith to show up imperfectly. Faith that you're worthy of trying, even when you mess up.
She shares the raw stuff, the journal, the tears, the silence, reflection, rebuilding. Choosing presence, progress, rest.
The audience reaction, silence first, then this warm, honest applause.
Students come up after, some with tears. I didn't know anyone else felt like that. Sharing their own struggles with burnout, feeling lazy when they hit walls.
They thank her for her truth, not for perfection.
It becomes her quiet influence. Sharing simple, honest thoughts on the student board. People listen not because she's an expert, but because she walked through it and showed her scars.
Her impact comes from presence, authenticity, leading from the center of her own transformed life. Her story becomes a bridge, reminding others they're not alone.
Her voice, once shaky, becomes steady, kind, real, powerful in its honesty. She found strength by standing beside others, not above them.
And finally, this hard-won resilience gets tested by life itself in the section called Unshakable. Her father gets seriously ill.
Her world shakes. The future feels blurry. Those old fears of collapsing start to stir.
But this time, something's different inside. A calm she didn't have before. A core strength.
She applies the lessons. Discipline isn't about never breaking. It's about getting up when you're broken, facing the storm with acceptance, courage.
Practical steps follow: arranging her schedule, being honest with professors, asking for support when needed. Resilience in action.
She keeps showing up consistently, even if not perfectly. There are tears, moments the weight feels crushing, but she keeps returning to her journal, her lifeline.
It reminds her she's more than her struggles, more than her fears. She's a fighter who refuses to stay down. She learns the deeper discipline of balance, kindness to self, prioritizing what truly matters in hardship.
Her self-discipline is no longer rigid. It's flexible resilience, the strength to keep moving when the path is foggy, holding hope and reality together.
So when a friend asks, watching her navigate all this, how do you do it? How do you keep going? Maya's answer sums it all up.
Yeah.
I don't have all the answers. Self-discipline means being unshakable, not because you never fall, but because you always stand back up.
Wow. That really captures it. A deep gratitude emerges in the story too, doesn't it? Not for the easy times, but for the hard days.
The breaking points, the doubts. Because those were the moments that revealed and forged her real strength. Her journey's not over, but she faces what's next. Unshaken, steady, present, ready.
So this deep dive into Maya's story, What does it really show us at the end of the day?
Well, it's such a powerful illustration that self-discipline isn't that rigid, joyless thing we sometimes imagine. It's not cold control.
It starts small, doesn't it? In those quiet, unseen moments like the alarm clock battle. It's built through consistency and just the courage to get back on the path after you stumble.
Yeah, and facing down those temptations that often wear the mask of comfort or ease, recognizing the silent thieves that steal our time and focus.
And crucially, finding strength not in pretending to be strong, but in being honest, admitting when it's hard, understanding failure isn't the end. It's often just a really tough lesson.
Self-discipline, as Maya found out, isn't about restriction at all. It's the path to real personal liberation, trusting the person you are becoming.
Maya's journey really shows that the real work, the deepest growth, it happens inside. It's not always visible, rarely gets applause.
But that quiet courage to show up for yourself again and again, that builds something truly unshakable.
Think about her realization that it's not about limiting yourself, but liberating who you're meant to be. And that idea that the middle of the struggle, the doubt, the failure, the tears, that's where the story really grows. That's where character is forged.
So, a thought to leave you with. What step could you take today? Maybe a small one, a quiet one. Not towards some impossible standard of perfection.
But just towards returning to your own strength, right where you are now. Bumps, bruises, and all.
Something worth thinking about.